Welcome to Manny's TV Talk, where we will talk about all of our favorite reality TV shows and news surrounding them. Grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because this starts now. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a final recap of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 4 Reunion Finale.
You set up Jen's security cameras.
Yes.
You had ability to watch Jen in her home and hear what she was saying.
Yeah.
You told me you had evidence.
No.
Are you accusing her of lying?
I'd rather sit here.
Okay, you guys, we're going to get into everything. We're going to get into the episode, and we're going to get into the news that just dropped a few hours saying that Monica is indeed fired. And I feel like it totally makes sense after watching the third part. So it is part 3 of the most anticipated reunion, so they pick right back up. Mary is still there. Andy did ask Meredith if she was okay, because she had been giving him like a stank look the whole time, but she's just like, oh no, like I'm okay, that's just my resting bee face. That was funny. So then they look at another set of scenes. It's Lisa having a freak out about her makeup, and Lisa fighting Monica at the Pioneer Day, like when they were playing Who Would You Throw Off Your Wagon. As they are watching the scenes, Monica just kept going on and on, man, like a little brat, saying things like, oh my god, like how y'all are 55 years old acting like that. It doesn't come across good, just seeing her age shame and do all this stuff. So after seeing those scenes, well, first, they give credit to Meredith for shaking that butter the whole time. She took it seriously and even took it to a restaurant to ask if they could use it in one of her meals, and they said yeah, so that's pretty great. They ask Lisa Barlow about her makeup. She says that she uses a glam artist every single day, and she says that she will die like that because she's not really that good at doing her own makeup. I wonder how much she pays. Damn. Mary says that's not normal, and she says, you know that's an insecurity, right? Then Andy asks Monica if she really took it serious that Lisa kicked her off her wagon in that game. And then she goes off. Lisa's trying to keep it cool, and they talk about Monica impersonating Lisa's voice. And Lisa says, I guess she's been practicing since season 1 since she's such a fan. Monica says, shut up. It's, and she was pressed. And then they have a little fun though. Meredith and Mary impersonate Whitney's voice, and then Angie impersonates Meredith's voice. Then they quickly address Mary Cosby fat shaming Heather at Watch What Happens Live when she said that Gucci didn't make size 14, but she says that she really wasn't fat shaming Heather. She says that Heather actually looks great. She shamed her today. That's how good she looks. So I'm glad that they were able to handle that. Then they thank Mary for the comedic relief and for coming back this season. It was great for her to come back, although she says that she feels like Whitney is terrified of her. But when Whitney says, no, I just don't want to disappoint you, just a bunch of BS from Whitney. But Mary is cool. Hopefully she returns next season. I think we all pretty much enjoyed her coming back, even if it was just as a friend. Okay, so they take a break and come back out, and then the group looks at the Monica drama. First, they see the weird DMs about Angie being in the Mafia and her pinning it on Meredith, but then we see the iconic finale. Those legendary scenes of receipts, proofs, screenshots, timeline, everything to prove that she is a freaking bully. We see Heather kicking out Monica and revealing that Jen gave her the black eye and that she will no longer deal or cover up toxic people. That was a lot, so it's time for them to discuss. So Andy asks point blank to Monica, are you reality Von Teese? And she says, I am a part of it. She says that she didn't create the account. She did post. They started in 2021 when the show was already on the air. And again, she says that the page was for Jen only, not meant for any of the ladies that are there. Heather says that it is not true. She gives examples of her being named and mentioned. Andy asks Heather, how does that work? Heather asks, how does what work? The internet? He says, no, Reality Von Teese. So Heather says, well, let's look at the Instagram page, which is Reality Von Teese too, because the original one got a cease and desist. So Heather gets out her phone and then shows Andy the examples of horrible things being said about Heather. But Monica says that those are things that Jen said. They were only shedding light. They wanted the world to know what what Jen was really saying about these women behind closed doors. But Heather's not buying this. She shows multiple examples of posts and her being tagged on hundreds of stories. So as Heather is showing all this evidence, Monica says, well, I have something. So she reaches behind the couch and pulls out a Mean Girls inspired burn book for the Salt Lake City ladies. As soon as she pulls it, everybody's like, oh, like what? Everybody was like, wow, what the hell? Are we 12? So Andy goes over it, and there's like some pictures of the women, and she tried to write some insults that she calls funny. But then there's also a lot of posts that Reality Von Tease put on Instagram. And as Andy is turning the pages, he says it looks like as if you were trying to expose Jen, but in the process you were also like blasting them by showing what she was saying about them. And we really did bring the insults back to them. And Heather starts to cry, which I do think was a little extra. I think she was playing it a little bit too much. But Andy is saying to Monica, I'm surprised that you're surprised that they are offended. And Monica says, I am, because they were all fans of the page. And then she shows an example of a message that Angie had sent to the page, thanking them for exposing a video of Jen. Monica says the page did say some nice things about the other women, but they were, when they showed those supposed good things, they were just like repost on Instagram stories. And Heather says, you ain't no hero. So Lisa asks, actually a pretty good question. She says, so it's clear that you hate us, you don't like us, why do you want to be here? Monica says, well, why can't I sit on this couch? Lisa says Monica didn't tell us about the page. That also plays a huge factor into this. She was busted, and that's how she even said anything. Monica says that she was not busted. She knew that it would come out. So Andy asks, if you knew it was going to come out, why not say it? I mean, you told everybody about your brother-in-law. So relating to the videos that were posted on the page, Lisa Barlow says that she knows how Monica knew that Lisa knew Snoop Dogg. Lisa reveals that Monica logged into Jen and Coach's video camera system. Monica says yes. She set up the system on her phone and she did have the access because it was her email. So that's kind of creepy that she had access to someone's home through security cameras and she could just spy whenever she wanted. So that leads them to talk about Monica doing drive-bys at Jen's house. They claim that Monica would stalk Jen. She would park out her house, take pictures and videos, and then send them to TMZ or sell them or whatever. Monica says that, yeah, she did that a few times. And guess what? Heather pulls about 20 videos of Monica and some weirdo recording themselves outside of Jen Shah's house. You guys, they played some of those videos where Monica is like, I'm outside her house, you guys, here's her car. That's demented. Lisa says, like, you're a mother of 4 kids, you should be with them instead of doing these drive-bys. And she's right. As a single mother, she needs to be in the house that time of day. I bet you her mom was probably taking care of them kids. Monica then claims that the FBI told her to do it to see if Jen was drinking and driving. I'm done. You guys, do y'all really think that the Federal Bureau of Investigations would ask this woman to go drive by to someone's house to see if they could catch them drinking and driving? First of all, how you gonna catch someone drinking and driving while they're inside the house? All of them, like, they couldn't help but laugh. And Monica was getting very frustrated because even Andy was confused and holding her to the fire because it really didn't make sense. So all Monica does is scream and says, y'all are all assholes. Why are y'all defending a criminal? So Andy says, okay, this is a good question. She has a point. Why do y'all care that she stalked Jen's house? Like, I mean, it wasn't your house. And Heather says to Andy, listen here, this woman befriended Jen, begged to work for her, became her assistant, installed cameras in her house, was looking at the cameras to find videos to leak out, went and stalked her home, all to post it and get money, and then to get on this show. I mean, yeah, that raises a few red flags, and it's not iconic to be a bully. Heather says. Heather says this has ruined her experience as a housewife, and she feels like all of the other housewives and all the other franchises will not be okay with this type of stuff for a fan slash troll to come on the show because they all have one thing in common. They deal with social media hate. So just the whole principle of it is not, something that would attract anyone to want to be genuine and film their lives. So now Monica says that she actually told production about this page when she was casted. But Andy says that's not true. If you would have said that, we wouldn't have casted you. So Andy switches over a little to Angie K's DMs about the Greek mafia and stuff. So Meredith says that she got some DMs with financial records and stuff that all aligned with the things that Monica told her at the plane when they were on their way to Palm Spring. Monica says that she was not the person behind the DMs though. But wait a minute, Meredith turns and says, Monica, when you told me these rumors, you said that you had proof of all of these things that you said about Angie. Ooh. But Monica says that she was not behind them. So Angie addresses it. She says that she feels bad. She feels like they wanted to take her down as a businesswoman, which is something that she really prides herself on being. Andy says, well, who is they? And Angie says, I don't know at this point. I mean, Monica pretended to be my friend, so I don't know. And then Meredith says, well, it wasn't me. So Monica turns at her and she looks kind of mad. And Meredith says, Monica, I never put anything out in the universe. It was you. So Monica's trying to deny that. But Andy tells Monica, listen, girl, you are the one who put out these things about Angie, like her husband, her business. You can't say things on camera and not take responsibility. Angie then keeps going on about her business, and Monica says, well, don't shame my small business. Oh my gosh. So they start going at it. Monica is losing her mind, and Angie goes off, calls her a low down brown rat who came from the sewer. She calls her cruel, vindictive, and everything but a child of God. Andy says, stop, stop. Like he had to intervene and be like, stop, stop, because it was getting out of control. Okay, so then Andy then shifts the conversation. It is time to talk about the black eye. So Heather says that they were drunk. Jen came in and she said to Heather, did I do that? And then Heather just remembers telling her, it's okay, I will cover for you. Heather doesn't know exactly why she covered for her, but she was just scared. Then you guys, they show unseen footage of Jen and Heather at that vacation last year where the black eye happened. And we hear Jen admitting to Heather, I mean, in the footage, Jen says, I can't believe I did that to you. Andy does say that Jen has been denying all this from prison, and Heather apologizes to everyone, to Andy, the group, the audience, for not telling them the truth, and Andy does reprimand her. He reads the things that Heather had put out there on how she quote-unquote thought she got the black eye. And in one of those theories, she kind of also like threw in producers. She says that she understands, and that's why she's apologizing. She really is sorry. Andy asks if the same grace that she wants is the same that Monica could also get. Heather is like, well, no. She thinks that it's different because she lied, but she lied on herself, on something that happened to her. Heather says that she is a different person now anyway. The distance has definitely helped with Jen being gone. Monica was very quiet. Then she says that it was hard for her to hear what Heather just said because she can relate to being attacked. She says that maybe even Angie too could relate to her and Heather. And Lisa Barlow, she just can't help herself. She says, what about me? Andy's like, stop, please let her finish. So Monica points out that Jen attacked her too. She can relate to Heather in that aspect. Seems like she was trying to kind of trauma bond. Andy asks all the other ladies how they feel knowing about Heather and now that she's revealing this information, and they all rallied around her. Whitney goes and hugs her, and they say that they understand why Heather didn't want to come clean, and they say that it was like some sort of Stockholm syndrome. I'm glad that Andy says, I am so surprised that all this time later we are still dealing with the mess that this woman, Jen Shah, has created. Then Andy tells Heather, is there anything you want to tell Jen? Say it now. So Heather says, I am not your bee anymore. I regret defending you. I regret fighting your fight to the point where I had to turn on some of my loved ones over you. So she's happy, honestly, that Jen is in prison because had she not gone, she might have not grown as a person. So Andy once again asks if the same grace can be extended to Monica and move on with Monica. But again, Heather says no. If anything, this reunion has showed her exactly why she can't trust Monica. Andy actually went down the line asking every single one of the ladies what do they think. Whitney says no, I can't trust Monica. This is too triggering. Meredith says no, it's too problematic. Andy asks, well, was there anything that Monica could have said this reunion that would have changed y'all's minds? And they all said no. Andy says to Monica, well, I did promise you that you were going to be able to say everything that was on your mind. It was your opportunity. So is there anything else that you want to say? And she says, no, there's nothing else to say. So then to conclude the reunion, Andy wants to play the warm and fuzzy, cold and prickly. Basically, one good thing and one bad thing about the season. Angie says that she loved getting to throw a Greek Easter party. The bad side was the rumors and the nastiness. Whitney loved being stronger this season, but her negative was being let down by Monica. Lisa loved being better with Meredith and Heather, Angie, and Whitney, her son growing up and them documenting that, but her negative was the way they left Bermuda. Meredith loved making butter. Her negative was having an off camera conversation. That's shade towards Monica. For Heather, she loved her book event. She loved resetting with Lisa. And her negative was reality Vontees. Finally, Monica says that she loved Bermuda and she hated Bermuda. So it was the best and worst at the same time. So then they get some drinks, they cheer, and it's a wrap to the historic, iconic 4th season of the Salt Lake City Housewives. Wow, you guys, I was speechless throughout this. I had to take a break. I had to pause. I had to go to the restroom. I had to go drink water. I had to crawl. I'm being dramatic, but honestly, you guys, this was one of the best. I think that I don't think there's ever been such an important and monumental reunion like this ever since the Phaedra 4-part candy thing. I remember that. So I think this is finally one that it's like matching it up, and it was just unbelievable. So many things. I personally, now I can see why she was fired. So that actually leads me to the next thing I want to talk about. Monica Garcia has been fired from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. The news actually came out about 3 hours before the reunion was aired, which I find a little weird. People magazine reported it. They titled their article, Monica Garcia departs the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City after breakout debut season exclusive. So, yep, she was fired. And we already knew this. Actually, this morning, there was a guy who did some podcasts and said that he had a very reliable source who has actually told him other things that have turned out to be true. We already knew from this morning that she was going to be fired. Andy, too, kind of gave a hint on his radio show. And I think it makes sense. I think that the last few minutes of the reunion kind of show you when he went down the line and asked every single one of them, do they trust her? And the fact that they all said no. I mean, honestly, I understand there's a lot of Monica fans out there. How on earth could she have come back, you guys? Let's be realistic for a second. How? Who is she gonna film with? She can't just film with Mary. I mean, wow, it was wild. And you know what? In a way, I actually think that it might be the best for her to not come back. Like, think about it. What a better way than to make a huge impact, a huge splash, whether it's positive or negative, and just disappear. I think that's honestly the best, because then you get oversaturated and like, you losing your image. But wow, you guys, this was a lot. What are y'all's opinions about this explosive, iconic reunion? You guys, I was shocked. Let me know your comments. What do you think about Monica being fired? Do you agree with this decision or do you not? I personally do. Also, because Heather is right. I mean, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love Monica. What person in their right mental capacities is capable of stalking and spying someone's house, their cameras, secretly recording their mothers, putting it on social media, creating fake accounts, fake usernames? I'm sorry, but y'all would not be okay with that. And y'all are lying to yourselves if y'all are going to say that you would be friends with someone who did all those things. It's ridiculous. But that was the end, you guys. But like I said, if you disagree with me, let me know. I want to thank every single one of y'all from the bottom of my heart for sticking with me for season 4 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. When I started this season, I told y'all that Tuesdays was my favorite night, and I am shocked that it did not change from the very beginning in September to now we're in January. So thank you guys so much for being here every single week for our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap. Y'all have a great one. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Yeah, bye.